Good morning. I'm Shiv Mathur. I'm at Rishikesh today, and it's been a long time since I started making videos. And some of the subscribers are asking, why don't you make some more videos? And video making is not easy. You have to be in a right environment, right condition, and the thought process has to be triggered and with no disturbance. Then only you can talk something sensible. So yesterday I went to the Tatwale Babaji's cave, and there I meditated, and my mind started again giving some good thoughts. So yesterday I listed down some 33 topics on which I would like to make some videos, because what video should I make, what should I talk about, also should be clear. So the first topic today I would like to talk about is, how do we differentiate between needs and desire, and how the desires bother us. I am now in Beatles ashram in Rishikesh, or it's called Chaurasi Kutia. Desires are something which uh, causes worries in our mind. Desires, more worries, because there is a constant expectation which is happening. Desires, they are leading to constant expectations, and the expectation of meeting the desires is actually constantly troubling us. There are a lot of worries in our mind, and it leads to a turbulent mind. Now, we all have many desires. We are not, we are clueless about what desires to have. Why do we have these desires? We have not understood this. We have not realized what are our needs, and more than the needs, those desires, are they really worth having? You can have some goals in life. You should have a clarity of goals in life, and one should also know what is to be achieved and what is the purpose of life. Purpose of life is, we should be happy. That's most important. We should be content. We should be at peace. Peace of mind is more important. And in the initial stages, probably we are able to sustain that stress which is caused by this turbulent mind. And the turbulent mind is due to many reasons. One of the reasons is desires. Actually, it's one of the very important reason, desires, because when we don't know what to attain, what to achieve, what to acquire, so then we are in a never ending chase, and that chase causes many complications in our life, because we are constantly chasing many birds here, a lot of big birds. So we are constantly chasing things, all materialistic things. So when we are living in this material world, this is a society, there is a system created by humans, and this system is evolving over a period of time. It's either, we call it developing, but it may be eroding the values. And so we don't understand what is the value, what is the system, what was the system, how it has been evolving, is it going in the right direction, not going in the right direction. But we just flow with it. We are put into this system as we grow up, from child to adult, and whatever we see, we assume that's the thing which is right, and we start chasing that, and we are put onto that racetrack, and that racetrack is leading to unknown destination, and en route we are constantly trying to acquire. So what happens is, if we don't know what the needs are, and beyond the needs what are we chasing, then we are going to have a turbulent mind. So it's all about peace of mind. Now, what are the basic needs? Who doesn't know this? But we never question this. So we keep chasing those desires which are driven by kind of lust for, lust is for material gain, and lust is for physical body, opposite sex attraction, and there is a lust for Greed is also a form of lust. Greed can be for many things. So in general, we'll say materialistic gains. So that's a greed and that's a lust. So that drives. We feel that we'll acquire this, we'll get happiness, we'll acquire this because everybody has this. So we are in a constant comparison, and in that comparison, we are trying to constantly acquire. And those, comparison, living in a society. So comparison is another big topic, which probably I have discussed in maybe in one video, or maybe I'll cover it again. But due to comparison is another attribute which causes us to acquire and achieve. We feel that that's to be achieved because others have achieved that. So if somebody has certain kind of a house, or somebody lives in a certain way, goes to certain places, so we feel we should also, like traveling, like people. Since this social media came and traveling became a status symbol, so people started posting that we have traveled. In offices, people are traveling, so they feel that they are very important. So traveling is like a status symbol. So these are many of these unknown goals we are chasing without really knowing whether that's giving happiness. Because when we are chasing something to show to others that we have also achieved this, and we have also achieved and we are also successful, then we are actually we are in a wild goose chase, and that's not going to give us really happiness. It's an identity which we are trying to fake identity, which we are trying to create just to please others. The point is that when we are comparing, so we are also trying to acquire and come at par, or maybe go beyond, above somebody else, that I have acquired more. So it's like a funny race where we are trying to show each other down and running. Is this really required? So what's the basic need? Food, clothes, and a shelter, and you need love. Actually, love is the basic need, and love can happen in a community where there is a sharing, there is caring, there is compassion, empathy. So these kind of things, if people have this, there is pure love. When there is pure love, there is a community. There is then comes the basic need. But if you are living in a community and if you are isolated because of one-upmanship, where you are trying to compare and show people down and show people that I am more than you, I am better than you. So this is not a good thing to be following or adopting. So if we understand the basic needs, and the basic needs are not difficult to achieve, because you can live anywhere. You don't have to live in New York, you don't have to live in maybe London, or in the those costly places in any big cities, whether it's Mumbai, Delhi, Tokyo, or Singapore. So we feel living in a certain place. If you live in certain place which is very expensive financially, you live there, you feel great that I have achieved this. There are a lot of material comforts, but then ultimately you are again isolated. And even if you are socializing, the group you are into is a group which is all achieved that level of, and they are on a constant race to achieve or better each other. So the discussion which you will have will very hollow, because they will be all centered around these kind of achievements only. They are not real discussions, I would say. And people just don't know. They are constantly running, trying to do things to ultimately feel what's that actually which is giving happiness. Because as you keep achieving these things, then you slowly realize these desires which led to these kind of chase and acquisition of material wealth has actually not given happiness. It's basically, it's isolated us more and more. And then suddenly you realize that human isolation is not good, because we live in a community, and there should be love and compassion and caring in the community. And then we can be happy only in a community, and provided we are not showing each other down, we are not trying to show that I have achieved more, and we are not chasing these kind of stupid things. So now I won't say isolation is bad, but isolation is very different. Solitude, if it is understood with detachment, then it's a separate topic. It's when you evolve really as a good human being, you will understand what is solitude. You may not need a community, but maybe community is still to some extent needed. So coming back to the needs, our basic needs are very basic and minimalistic. Like you should be minimalistic, and if you're minimalistic, you're not chasing. If you're not chasing, you're happy. If you're chasing, you're unhappy. So more desires, bigger the chase, more unhappiness, because you're constantly chasing is a simple word, just a single word. But when you chase, what all do? You manipulate, you get frustrated, you have so many expectations, you are getting angry, you are trying to control because you're trying to make things happen, and you don't understand, and things will happen. What is going to happen will only happen. And when we achieve something, we feel, oh, I have achieved it. When anything materialistic we have achieved by all hook and crook, I would say hook and crook only. Nobody is achieving it straight away. But yeah, you put an effort, but what kind of effort you're putting into what direction? You are manipulating. So when you are, and when you get something bad, you say, oh, why did this happen? You're trying to look for blaming somebody else. Anything which you feel is materialistically bad, you don't want to take the responsibility for that, and you want to blame somebody else. But when your ego says, this is what I have achieved, so I have achieved this. So this you're like a snob, So we have a community of snobs who are chasing all this crap, and then we all behave like hooligans when we meet, drink and make noise. We are quite ill behaved, I think. If you see these kind of parties which people get into, go to the pubs, what behavior they have? They are constantly looking for somebody. No, I don't have a good partner. I might find a good partner. So they're constantly feeling that they will find something good, and that good they will never find, because the whole basis of finding that good is hollow. So it's very important to differentiate between what is a right desire and what's a unwanted desire. So I won't say a right desire is a need and unwanted desire is what is not needed. So what is not needed, what is needed which will give you happiness, when what is not needed which will not give you happiness. So basically none of the materialistic things are actually going to give happiness. But if you need something for certain purpose, for something to be done, and whatever is to be done is a kind of service. It's a primary objective of whatever we are doing is for somebody else. Because if we do something and others become happy because of that, think of every job you do, driven towards somebody else. It's actually directed towards somebody else, the outcome. It's not primarily directed towards your own outcome. So if you understand that deeply, you will realize when you do something perfectly, nicely, with love and compassion, even simple as cooking, when you cook, and if people like it, then they will be happy, then only you can be happy. How can you be happy by cooking? So people who are not bothered about who's going to eat and how they feel, then their cooking will not be good, nor they will enjoy the cooking. So it's as good as simple as that. Like any action which we are doing, they are around our needs or the community needs. And you will realize sometime that the community is such a thing that your needs get fulfilled by the community, and you are basically working towards the community needs. And so I say basic need is food, shelter and clothes. And you don't have to have 20 clothes, 40 pair or 50 pair or expensive ones. Just now I'm wearing a $3 shirt which I bought from Rishikesh market. And in the towns we buy a shirt for $50, $100, and you will have a number of shirts. So for that kind of acquisition you need a lot of money. Then you will end up working in a job which is paying you a lot, but the higher you go up, the more stressed you are. You are like a bigger slave. I would say the bigger the job we are in, bigger the slave we are, because we are totally dictated and exploited by people who are on the top. Most of the people are exploiting the people down below. So there is a lot of exploitation in this world. So that good working culture is nowhere to be seen. Leaders are missing. Everybody is trying to acquire and put people down. So if you want to buy 100 shirts, 50 trousers, or a large wardrobe, so you will spend couple of years to acquire that also. And ultimately you realize if you go above these clothes, it really won't matter what you are wearing. What you need to wear is confidence, peace, the attitude you carry, what you wear, how you wear, and what you talk, what knowledge you have. I think this is more important than which kind of house you own, which kind of car you own, and which kind of what kind of clothes you wear, where do you eat. If I eat bread, how does it matter where do I eat? But people have, it matters to people where do they eat. They feel if I eat, spend X amount of money to eat in so and so place, so how does it matter? How long can you do that? And will that really give you happiness? So those desires are not permanent, a permanent source of happiness, fulfilling those desires, because those are all materialistic desires. And I'm trying to explain these desires. The whole point is that if you have such kind of desires, you will be unhappy all the time. You may try to show to people that you are happy by, your identity is changing constantly by those acquisitions, but you have failed to understand the basic needs are very limited, and if you have to meet those basic needs, it's not a challenge. You can grow your vegetables, your food is there, you can buy few clothes, you can live in a village, you can live in a very cheap house. If you go to any country, if you go to the capital city, the houses are 10 times, maybe 100 times expensive than a house in a village, and you feel the village people are less happy. I'm sure they are less stressed than people who are living in big cities. So what have you achieved by becoming a CEO of a big company and living in a big city? You have only achieved stress and snob value. So understand needs and desires. This is one topic I thought I will talk, and I don't know whether I've covered everything in this topic properly or have I explained well, but I've just flown my thoughts. May not be the best of my thoughts, because the environment I'm in right now in Rishikesh, in India, it's very difficult to make a video on a spiritual thing, because you have to speak with a lot of depth, and it should not become confusing. So I need a lot of peace. But in India, there is a lot of turbulence. It's very noisy. There's no personal space for people. In Warsaw, I could really make wonderful videos. All my videos have been made in Warsaw in my room, without any stand, without any mic. I had so much time and there was so much personal space, no noise. In India, wherever you go, there's a noise. So it's very difficult. My wife was telling me, why you are unable to find a place? I said, yes. I was thinking maybe I'll go back to Poland and make some more videos. In India, I'm unable to find a place where I'm not intruded by somebody. Thankfully, here in Beatles Ashram, Chaurasi Kutia, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's ashram, I paid $2 to enter this ashram and came here, and thankfully till now no one has come, because it's very secluded and it's little wild, and I think people may not be very confident to walk all over this ashram. It's a bit scary for some, I think. So I could come here to this corner and make this video, and I'll upload it. Yesterday I made video on the same topic, but it didn't come out well. And as I was saying, somebody has come, so I need to stop it. Thanks.